Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the world's most watched professional wrestling news program. Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report. This, our final show of the year. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside the man they call Meathead.
Yeah.
And Frank Cosentino, looking very good in your holiday this week.
It's clean. That's all I can tell you.
Again, folks, you've chosen to join us here on the Pro Wrestling Report. Coming off the heels of last week's big PWR Honors episode, we've gotten a lot of feedback. A lot of people shocked at the winner of the Wrestler of the Year category. That is John Cena.
Yep.
But
I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you.
Deserved it.
The numbers don't lie. There were chads, but the numbers don't lie. And John Cena, the Wrestler of the Year. The best part is those of you who don't like it will have to endure for the next 12 months us saying, every time we refer to him,
PWR Honor
Wrestler of the Year.
Right.
It is behind us. Watch that episode in case you have not yet done so. That is available right here on pwrshow.com. And if you are watching us on television in any of our TV markets, you can hop on over to pwrshow.com and watch the archived episode of the 2007 Pro Wrestling Report Honors. One thing we did notice, the interns brought up later on, Frank, was there was no bad joke from you.
I was just so
I
enthralled.
mean, he is a bad joke, but there is no bad joke from you.
Just with Cena winning Wrestler of the Year, I couldn't think of anything bad to say.
Not sure what that means, but let's go into the news for this week here on the Pro Wrestling Report. Last Sunday, gentlemen, we had a pay-per-view presentation from World Wrestling Entertainment. It was Armageddon, formerly a SmackDown-only pay-per-view. The end of that song was last year. Armageddon, headlined by two big championship bouts. Jericho's return to pay-per-view wrestling action in the month where 6 years ago, I believe it was, he won both titles by beating The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in one night. We would find that Chris Jericho could not beat one man in the same night several years later. But let's start at the beginning of the card. A match that ended in a countout. It was for the United States Championship. MVP taking on Little Ray Mysterio Jr. Countout as MVP walks out.
You know what they should have called this pay-per-view?
What should they have called the pay-per-view?
Armageddon. I know Vince is watching this.
I don't get it.
Vince.
You do know he's watching.
Vince.
On his iPod.
Enough with, and we'll go match by match, but enough with the countouts.
The false finishes is what they're called.
The false finishes, the DQs on pay-per-views, they don't work. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time to have DQs on a pay-per-view. I'm not going to say it.
I disagree.
I am totally against it. Give us a winner. We don't need to. Storylines can continue. Storylines continue on Raw and SmackDown. They don't need to continue or at least start or whatever on a pay-per-view. Give us a winner of that match, and then maybe add a story on after that. But no DQs. We get DQs already on Raw and SmackDown. I'm done.
So you, in theory, did not like the opening contest,
I did
Rey
not.
Mysterio versus MVP
I did not
for
like
the US
this whole
strap.
thing. The moment that a DQ or no countout comes, I'm like, why are they doing this? Why would anyone want to pay for a DQ?
Meathead, your thoughts on the opening contest?
Oh, it's my turn to talk now? Just checking.
Meathead, your thoughts on the opening contest?
Standard match, man, and nothing special. I mean, Ray and MVP, they might go another pay-per-view. There might be a little bit more heat, another match on SmackDown maybe, but this is just a transitional match. That's all it really is. It's just something to hold over until Matt Hardy comes back around or they find somebody else to take the U.S. belt from MVP.
Frank, I would tend to agree with your assessment of things in this particular matchup. I will say, however, that as we go down the card, the countouts, the disqualifications were all perfectly executed in this reporter's opinion.
Executed?
Executed.
Yes. Needed? Save them for Raws and SmackDowns.
The wrestling god.
Oh, God.
That's all I gotta say. Moving on. It is Jeff Hardy taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Triple H. The winner of this match gets a shot at the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. Headlining the Royal Rumble, Madison Square Garden, the grandest stage of them all. Everyone essentially thought going into this match, it could be Jeff Hardy. It won't be Jeff Hardy.
No,
It could be Jeff Hardy.
Here's what it is.
It won't be Jeff Hardy.
Just like the MVP match versus Rey Mysterio, this is a transitional match. This is a test. This is a test to see how Jeff Hardy does as far as what kind of heat he draws, what kind of support he draws in a main event matchup. This is a test. They've done this with all the other guys. Your Benoits, your Jerichos. They've been in preliminary main events at pay-per-views, didn't win their matches, and then finally went over the next time.
But
around.
Jeff did win.
No. Jeff wasn't in the main event. He will now be in a main event title match.
They could have gone Triple H easy, meathead.
Yeah, all they had to do was say,
Hardcore Holly versus, it was either Lashley or Lesnar a couple of years back at the Royal Rumble. We've seen these experimental kind of things happen at the Royal Rumble. I don't think this is an experiment. We've seen a push for Jeff Hardy over the last few months. We saw the build of the angle going into this match at Armageddon between Triple H and Jeff Hardy, and now we see Jeff Hardy not only getting the rub at the pay-per-view Armageddon, but the next night on Raw putting on a solid match and involved in the major opening angle with a despondent Vince McMahon. Frank, your thoughts on that matchup as Jeff Hardy rolls into the Royal Rumble?
Now, this was, to me, the match of the evening because I was shocked. Completely shocked. Anyone says I wasn't shocked, they're wrong.
I wasn't shocked.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
You really thought that...
My opinion. Finish.
You really thought that Jeff Hardy was going to win this match?
I thought that it was a 50-50.
Did we do predictions last week?
Well,
No, we didn't.
50-50, that's...
Ha-ha! Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Bobby the
Very
Great
good.
Heenan.
Very good there, Pete. 50-50.
Which, by the way, I was watching the HBK DVD, which is amazing, and the commentary of Bobby Heenan with the barbershop incident. See, one without the other, they won't be able to exist. Oh, I knew he was going to do that. Jannetty, Michaels doesn't need Jannetty. But anyways.
I'll be honest, I was shocked. It was, to me, the match of the evening.
I will say, I expected Triple H to win, but I was that person. You know, Jeff Hardy could win this thing. He could go all the way. Jeff Hardy did. Jeff Hardy, the Royal Rumble, headlining with Randy Orton. Now that it's in front of us, not sure how much jazz that match has, to be honest with you. Randy Orton, again, one of my favorite heels in the history of this business. Jeff Hardy, this is going to be an interesting one. Now, here's why I think it happens at the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is headlined by the Royal Rumble every year.
So he's not the real main event.
But indeed, well, the WWE Championship match at Armageddon was not the real main event either. We saw SmackDown on top of the card again as we still saw several pay-per-views.
You still saw the belt, the title holder, in the main event.
Well, from SmackDown, yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's SmackDown or Raw.
Well, it does matter, because Raw being the superior. Remember how many months we endured?
Why,
Raw was always at the top of the card.
Because it was Cena. Because it was Cena.
Could be.
No, it's not could.
Cena,
it is.
He is the 2007
honors winner for Wrestler of the Year.
Speaking of WWE
Seriously, honors
Championship,
2008 won't be until like the third week of December. Get used to it.
Speaking of championships, the WWE Championship was on the line as Chris Jericho returned to championship contendership and faced Randy Orton. Orton coming in very confident, claiming to have beaten men who had 18 title reigns between them in his last 3 outings, if you will. Orton seemingly getting ready to get handed a victory. It's the walls of Jericho. Jericho pulls Orton back into the center of the ring after Orton rallies and gets to the ropes. And then we see what was sort of expected. I expected it when Jericho climbed the top rope and did it's like a tackle. I don't know what the heck that move was. I've never seen it before from him. But I thought that would have been the perfect spot for JBL to, tip Jericho off the top rope. But it was going to be so much more. As the wrestling god, JBL makes clear his intentions and returns to action with one kick to the head of Jericho, costing Jericho the WWE Championship and resulting in that match as a disqualification. Randy Orton wins, retains the title. Jericho wins, sorry, but does not get the title because the title doesn't change hands on disqualification. JBL back. We saw it was pretty clear once it all started to transpire. Perfect disqualification style ending to that match. I think that the way that match ended, you got so much more out of it long term than the short term impact at Armageddon. Meathead, your thoughts?
My thoughts were that we saw the culmination of it actually Monday night on Raw with JBL on the Titantron with Jericho. Great battle, and what's going to be really great about these two going at it, they can work on the microphone, not like Frank on a stick in the back. They can actually work on the microphone. I mean, these two will have the verbal just jabs back and forth. Yeah, and, to see JBL in the ring, he wrestles a little stiff, and that's okay. I mean, he's a little bit of a kind of a bruiser. He's a brawler. He's not a technical wrestler. But you know what? I really would like to see this go up until WrestleMania. I really think that this could have the legs to go to WrestleMania.
Frank.
The match was, and I already said it in the past, the match was good up until the DQ. It just bothers me. I thought once JBL did that to Jericho that Randy Orton was going to win the match. It was going to be a pin, and then, fine, okay, we've got a winner.
No, but you actually, I got to agree with Damien on this one right here. It's fine, because now this angle has grown a new leg, and it goes in a new direction.
And the good things about
this one.
The good things about this, we've seen the tease of JBL's return to the ring for several weeks. We saw the APA come back the week before the 15th anniversary. We've seen a lot more physicality out of JBL
the
last few weeks on
If you were to watch the PWR draft episode again, I just got another wrestler back on my roster. A wrestling god!
Oh, yeah, now you like him. Yeah, of course.
My roster still kicks ass.
JBL still with a lot of heat and still out there and known by the fans. And what the valid point is JBL has not been a singles competitor on Raw ever. Right. He spent all of his time on SmackDown. We'll talk more about JBL specifically later, but this match, Jericho wins, Orton retains the title. That program is closed. The book is closed on that one. And now we see Orton off with Hardy, and we see the JBL feud with Y2J. The main event comes from SmackDown.
Triple threat.
Taz and Michael Cole call it. Edge versus The Undertaker versus Batista. Big match feel. Great to see Edge back in a ring and back in a main event style situation where he always perseveres and is one of the most resourceful superstars that we have ever been had the opportunity to be blessed with in WWE. That match was a good match, as good as a three-way dance could have been.
That wasn't a three-way dance. It was a triple threat. There's a difference.
What's the difference, Mita?
A three-way dance is an elimination type match where when somebody gets pinned, then it's a one-on-one match. First time here?
Your last time here, actually. Say goodbye.
I know.
3 Edges. We see 3 different people, including Edge, obviously, perform as Edge. The Major Brothers. Edge did a dirty deal with them, with his girlfriend Vicky. Notice I wouldn't kiss her on the lips because I think he's got what he needed on her now. But for other reasons too, but Michael Cole calling it perfectly when, you're just like, well, you really didn't know when he came in and got that spear from Batista that wasn't Edge. And then they're both laying there on the outside of the ring, and Michael Cole is, what the hell's going on? There's 2 Edges out here. Folks, we haven't seen anything like that in recent history.
It's been a while.
We've had, 12 conquistadors, of which Ed was a part of, him and Crispin.
2 Earl Hebners.
Yes.
Well, that was Earl and Dave.
I'm
on for the plastic surgery, brother. Still one of my favorite Hogan promos of all time, because right after the match, how much for the plastic surgery, brother?
3 Edges. The 2 Major Brothers take the big beatings at the end. Batista thought he laid one out with the spear. Undertaker thought he laid one out as well. The choke slam, I believe it was. Well, Edge was waiting for his spot outside the ring, came in, took it, walked out with the title. No DQ in that one, Frank, because there was no disqualification in the match. But how about the way that was booked and the resourcefulness and the will always manage to make it happen, rated R superstar Edge?
I love the feel of the match, and I love the finish. I thought it was great, and you know what? That is Edge's 4th title. 4th time he has been named the world champion, be it either the WWE champion or the world heavyweight champion. 2 WWEs, 2 world heavyweights. It's great to see him with the belt. I think it belongs.
Yeah, not the match of the night, but entertaining. I give credit to Edge, who's sort of like, not like Ric Flair, where he needs to cheat to win, where everyone...
Black Scorpion?
Yeah, this is a little bit different twist to that, and I kind of enjoy it, and Edge pulls it off.
Pulling it off handedly. I mean, clever, folks. So damn clever and resourceful is what you can call Edge. There's been so many incidences where you just didn't know what he was going to do and what happened. Think back to when he cashed in the first Money in the Bank in New Year's Revolution and beat John Cena for the title.
No one knew.
He is the opportunist. He is a top talent. And really, if you look at 5 years ago to now, who would have thought?
Yeah, and voted by his high school peers as the most likely to be WWE champion.
And needs to stay on SmackDown to keep that brand alive.
He is probably one of the top stars. You know, I got to say, though, over the last few weeks, I have taken a liking to Batista. There seems to be more of an intensity there.
The thing with Batista is you can see if he's feeling what he's doing. You can see if he doesn't care, or at least he gives off a persona, or if he's stiff. You can see when he's intense and he's feeling it. His matches with The Undertaker, you could see and feel that he was there.
A lot of that is Taker, of course. But
No, I'm talking about him. Personally him. You watch him move and his reactions and what he does. He's personally in that. Or when he goes to WrestleMania. I mean, you can see it in his intro. You can see it in all this stuff.
You're right, Damien, though. He has been a little more intense the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks. And it's just speculation. Or maybe someone in the back said, hey, this might be your last shot here.
Oh, I doubt that. Batista is
as
over.
far as his
career,
as far as his career length goes, I mean,
right? You try it. Let's step it up. You're going to have 2 top stars in your brand right now, and I thought he did pretty well.
I don't think that's the case at all. Batista is right where he needs to be, and if Batista keeps doing at just a normal pace of what he is, he can be in that spot for years to come.
I think it's more of perhaps Batista realizing that he's carrying the SmackDown brand.
Correct.
And stepping up and
he is the top face, along with The Undertaker.
Right. That's been wildly popular with the fans for a long time, but there were those times, as we've all said, where you're just like, all right, he's just sort of here.
Yeah, and there were a couple stretches where people didn't want to see Batista with the belt or Batista, on TV at all. But Batista is the top face, along with The Undertaker, on that show, and
many saying it was a series of matches, at least the big street fight match, if you will, at WrestleMania 23 that really springboarded Batista's latest motivation. Back to Armageddon. For whatever reason, one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. I always look forward to Armageddon. Last year, of course, we saw Joey Mercury get his face spliced apart. We saw a phenomenal pay-per-view from SmackDown only in 2006. In 2007, we see all 3
one didn't have any Raw or ECW talent on it.
It was officially branded as a SmackDown pay-per-view. This year's Armageddon, I believe it was No Mercy. About 50,000, 70,000 more buys than prior year because of the tri-branding of the pay-per-views. It makes sense.
Nothing to do with
Pay-per-views don't feel more special to you because all 3 brands are advertised for?
No,
they don't feel more special to you?
They do not. Now they feel like it's just the same show every month. They felt more special.
So Armageddon was the same as Cyber Sunday?
When they were separate.
Same as No Mercy.
Cyber Sunday is different now because now there's voting. I mean, there's always going to be a reason why you can put all these different people from all these different brands on different shows. I get that. I'm not done talking. I get the ECW SmackDown deal where they're exchanging talent. They're on the same night. They're taping the same night. I really don't care. If you're going to be on Raw, be on Raw. If you're going to be on SmackDown, be on SmackDown. If you're going to be on ECW, be on ECW. Brands colliding
on pay-per-views,
on TV shows, consistently.
When did it happen outside of the ECW Chavo Guerrero thing this week?
This week? Well, I don't know this week. I haven't watched all the shows yet.
Did you watch Raw? Did you watch? Yes. Okay, Ric Flair's on SmackDown. Okay. I'll give you that.
Okay.
But he's got a promo for Monday night. He's not involved in anything else.
So, he's not doing that at all. So, I mean, you're saying that there hasn't been any SmackDown talent on Raw in weeks.
No,
just this week.
This week, yeah.
Just this week.
This week.
Because it won't happen again next week.
This week. And JBL is now on a Raw. He's Raw talent, so that doesn't count. So scratch that one for those people.
Yeah, he was announced as a Raw talent after the program.
He was an invited guest by Jericho.
He didn't show up to the show.
No, he didn't because he had his announcement via satellite because he's not going to Buffalo, New York.
I'm done.
Because you're wrong.
Not true.
You want to have another debate? Frank, get the bell.
You know what? I already beat you in the draft show.
You didn't beat anything. You simply have a roster of people who may be slightly more healthy because they haven't been giving as much in the ring.
No. I have a roster full of the belts.
I picked the winners.
I have a roster for all the belts and all the talent. Watch that show again, folks.
Armageddon was not...
be in a holiday mood.
I hate him.
It's easy, Frank, it's easy to hate people that are better than you. It's real easy.
Overall, unpredictable is what I would call Armageddon. I don't think anybody could have predicted much of anything that happened that night, including CM Punk getting pinned, by the way.
I could have.
Okay, really.
Mickey James was going to get beat by Beth Phoenix.
We should have done predictions because that's the only reason. Now keep in mind, folks, first pay-per-view where we've not done predictions this year, and now all of a sudden this one, I knew what was going to happen.
I'm the same guy that said...
I knew it all!
Chance.
I am the same guy that knew Kurt Angle was going to TNA. I am the same guy that knew it was Chris Jericho and when he was going to show up. I am that
You're
guy.
the same. You
I
and
am the
1.8
same guy.
million other wrestling
I am the
fans.
same guy. I am the same guy that knew that Mickie James would get beat by Beth Phoenix. I am the same guy that knew that Jericho was not going to win the belt.
Let's keep going
I am
back.
the
You knew
same
Bischoff
guy.
was going to be the new GM of Raw. You knew. Oh, did you know Nitro was going to get canceled? And then bought by my competition. I went out and bought my competition.
I knew that my phone was going to ring and play Fergie. I knew that.
Your overall thought of Armageddon, the pay-per-view, Frank?
D.
WWE announced team
By the way,
turmoil.
would you like my
Obviously,
great ass?
you talked about it already, and we
I
didn't
didn't
need
give
to
it
go back
away.
to that. We're extending time on this segment already. Now you got me talking about it again. WWE announced team. You see those cards with the interns are holding up? We'll move on. That's what that means. Obviously, JBL returning to in-ring action on Raw. ECW and SmackDown now sort of sharing Taz at least this week. We expect Taz to stay on SmackDown with his partner, friend, Michael Cole, and we expect some type of replacement to be on ECW. Now, here is where the internet runs wild, brother. ECW is going away, of course, because now Taz is going to SmackDown. Oh, must be getting rid of ECW. You know, just saying. That's what's out there.
That's Joey called the shows by himself like he used to.
He did it forever.
Fine by himself.
Yeah.
He did. He used to. Obviously now, the big part of that is JBL's return to the ring. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. JBL sort of been feeling this out for a while, saying at ringside each and every week, he's retired and he doesn't need to get back in that ring. What does he need to do? Well, the point that has been made is that JBL, never a singles competitor on Raw, has not held the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Has held the World Championship, the longest reigning champion, I believe, in the last 10 years.
SmackDown history.
Well, SmackDown's celebrating 10 years next year. In 2 years.
By the way, PWR is celebrating 10 years in March. I don't know if you knew.
I want to ask you guys both a question. Your JBL and John Cena, when they feuded,
Which time?
the last time before the I Quit,
WrestleMania
The
21-ish.
U.S. Championship.
I sensed this feud similar to that. The only way I say it, the reason I say that is Jericho and Cena seem to be about the same height.
Jericho and Cena, yes.
Okay? And JBL, well, I think he's an average wrestler. He's not great, but he's not. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Even
Frank, you're right. Go ahead.
Could you nudge me on something if you're going to make such a blasphemous statement?
Dude, you said that
In
so hard you
advance?
cut the back of his head open. Go ahead.
I took a bump.
Yeah. You're
Related.
about to bump again in a second.
I just don't. It worked a little bit with Cena and JBL, but JBL's got a good 6 inches.
I'm not worried about that. No, not worried about that at all.
Because Jericho's a guy that likes to run around the ring a little bit. I mean, and he's got his moves.
JBL worked great with Rey Mysterio. So, I mean, how is the size an issue?
I think I can work great with Mysterio.
It's not this. It's not.
He sells it all, so it's fine.
No, don't worry about the size. Jericho's what, 6 foot tall?
I don't think JBL's a substantial sized person. I don't think that that is such an issue because I think
don't worry
most of
about
his
that.
opponents are smaller than him. JBL, average. You sit here and call
Average at best.
Average at
He's not horrible, but he's not.
But he's
Khali.
a wrestling god.
He's not Khali.
Right. Perfect point.
Khali, who, by the way, has gone public and said that he felt horrible during his time as WWE champion or world champion because he knew he didn't deserve it. Stand-up kind of guy. Stand-up kind of guy. But anyways, let's talk about the longest reigning champion in SmackDown history. A wrestler you call average?
At best.
Average.
At best.
He's not
Better
great.
JBL or APA John Bradshaw Layfield?
I've always liked
Or
him
actually,
as a tag team
Bradshaw.
wrestler.
Bradshaw.
I've always liked JBL as a tag team wrestler.
Because you could hide the fact that he wasn't that great a wrestler. We don't have time for this segment. It's already long.
No, they're not. Shut up. They're not. Listen to me. JBL
Who?
is a
Was that a pick?
JBL. It was an itch. JBL is a wrestler. Okay.
He's
Frank,
a brawler.
I appreciate your
JBL
opinion.
is not a wrestler. He is a brawler.
Frank, I appreciate your opinion, but
Obviously, he doesn't appreciate mine.
JBL is an old school
Brawler.
professional wrestler.
Yes,
Brawler.
I appreciate the fact that you two may not be able to understand what wrestling is since you're sports entertainment fans and WWE marks.
I'm a wrestling
JBL
fan, and I am not a WWE
JBL is a
mark.
professional wrestler who brings it in a wrestling style and can put on a wrestling mat classic with the best of them. I've seen him do it.
Okay, E-Mark.
My name is Damien.
Go ahead. Damien, son of the devil.
Speaking of retirements, Andrew Test Martin has retired.
Who?
Exactly. Elimination Chamber returns to WWE. It is being advertised for the No Way Out pay-per-view coming to us on February 17th from the world's greatest city, Las Vegas, Nevada.
What happened to that match? I mean, it used to be a big deal.
It used to be a staple for
New Year's Revolution.
last year at
December
to Dismember.
Correct. That's where Bobby Lashley won his belt.
Have you seen the pictures of Bobby Lashley lately, though?
Yeah, he's got a big afro now. It's a joke.
I'm sure it wasn't Orlando Jordan.
Possibly. OJ.
Oh, whoa. Why do they have to look the same?
Because you said it.
And you feel the love in here.
Sorry on local advertisements. The way it is supposedly going to take place is the winner of the Royal Rumble will get a chance to pick which brand championship they want to go for.
Which is now the staple. Which is now the staple.
Whether it be the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. The other brand will have 6 competitors who will wrestle for the opportunity for the main event match at WrestleMania
That makes it a
in
little
the
bit better
Elimination
now.
Chamber. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I really think that it's something WWE might want to consider pushing sooner than the Royal Rumble
yeah,
to make it a
exactly.
point
Exactly.
that this is what we're going to do, not this is what we're going to screw and say the winner of the Royal Rumble gets a title shot and then change it all up at No Way Out. Already in advertisements, they've named some names.
Jericho.
I'm not going to name those names because the names are certainly going to change,
Jericho.
obviously, by the time we get to that
Jericho.
point.
What?
No.
Mm.
So, Elimination Chamber, great match. A match that was introduced by Eric Bischoff, obviously, really his idea. Probably Pat Patterson's, because if you name a good match, Pat Patterson came up with it.
Sure.
Royal Rumble, ladder match.
Naked men wrestling around with each other.
Speaking of TNA, Christopher
Ew,
Daniels
you
was...
said testicles and ass.
Christopher Daniels, as you saw on Impact, was fired, let go. Not really the case, but well done by TNA, including a statement on their website saying he is gone. There are 2 people who are indeed gone from TNA as a result of a staff meeting a couple of weeks back where all of the members of the roster were offered their release if they wanted. 2 people taken up that offer. Senshi, sad to see him go, one of my favorites in TNA, completely unhappy apparently, and Round the Truth Killings, who has an on-again, off-again relationship with Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Those 2 are gone for the company. You will see Christopher Daniels probably pop up back in TNA in the next few months. A person you certainly won't see in TNA anytime in the future, I would say, never may apply in this scenario, is Scott Hall.
Okay. Back to Round the Truth Killings, though. What happened to his tag team partner? Is he gone now? Pac-Man?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean,
Funny
because
enough.
there was a story, a handful of months ago that we
Oh,
reported
really?
right here about Pac-Man Jones being one of the many talents offered new TNA contracts. Mom Karen, I broke my foot angle.
She did. She's got a reality show pilot that she has also taken. Must be good to be Karen Angle nowadays.
It's good to be a meathead looking at Karen Angle, pictures and cheeseburgers.
Scott Hall, fallen off the face of the earth by some people's accounts, ladies and gentlemen. You see the real-life shoot-type work situation going on with Kevin Nash and Samoa Joe. But Scott Hall is supposed to have been part of a Juggalo radio show, JCW, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, with the Insane Clown Posse.
With a P on this show.
Was supposed to be part of the radio show and did not call in, was not a part of that. And has allegedly not spoken to anyone in TNA, aside
Check
from
Mexico.
potentially Kevin Nash.
Check
so
Mexico.
Scott Hall could be dead.
Check Mexico. That's where he was
It's a
wrestling.
big area to check. Just
Well,
your
it's-
arrogant Americanness. Just check Mexico. Maybe he's hiding there.
He's in Mexico somewhere. Down in Tijuana, he slipped the worm.
$70 billion.
That
WWE
was
is
inside.
expanding into South America, as a matter of fact. Going to really do a broad expansion with television, live events, and more in Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, and Chile. Maybe that's why they're keeping Carlito around, pairing it up.
By the way, I need to... Carlito
Tatina
and Santino. Now you can go ahead and kiss the face of the people who don't suck or aren't cool. I know I just ruined it, but I
No.
don't care.
What was it?
Funny.
It wasn't kiss. Oh, no, they'll swap spits.
Swap spit, yeah. Swap spit with people who don't suck.
Men.
Men who don't suck. That our future WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, right there.
I really wish. I wish two things. I wish Santino Marella would get a different pair of shorts. That's all I'm saying.
Santino shorts or Matt Striker's Argyle tights.
Matt Striker's Argyle tights. By and far.
Okay. Two things that you wish would happen.
That was both of them.
Okay.
WWE is going to be opening an office in Sao Paulo, in South America as well.
Who gets demoted and sent down there to have to work for the company?
Going to tape 2 episodes of Raw, followed by 2 nights of SmackDown in February, just before heading over to this tour of South America, and then coming back to do the No Way Out pay-per-view in Las Vegas, which I think is Vegas' second No Way Out. I think the one with Kurt Angle on the poster. One of my favorite posters is
Vegas?
Was Vegas as well. I think so. You know what? Really miss Halloween Havoc.
I do too, because that was always a Vegas pay-per-view.
They brought back Great American Bash. Got brought back. And that's it. Obviously, Pride ain't gonna let them bring Starrcade back, but they should. Halloween Havoc is get rid of Cyber Sunday. That thing ain't going.
No,
look at the numbers.
The War Games. Remember, we tried to think of that the last
and
show.
you
that
couldn't
we did.
remember.
And you couldn't remember.
Well, I had people on my ear.
Fall Brawl War Games. The
match beyond.
Oh, those are great. And keep World War III. You can have that.
No. Cyber Sunday gone. Yeah, it's interactive. Who cares? Halloween Havoc.
It was usually
best Halloween Havoc of all time
was the one that went long and nobody saw the ending.
I saw the ending
properly.
I saw the ending.
What was that, DDP and Hogan, or DDP and was that War? Isn't that where Warrior broke his back too? And then Brett got a concussion.
He didn't break it. It was Brett.
Sid broke his leg.
No.
That Sin?
That was a long time after. Brett versus Sting, Goldberg versus DDP, and it was Hogan versus Warrior. Hogan actually set Warrior on fire.
Halloween Havoc was a great brand. A great brand, and always came to us from the MGM Grand Garden Casino at the MGM Grand.
Except for the one where Chucky came in during the middle. And
which one was RoboCop on?
Oh, that's way back. Taunted Rick Steiner for some reason.
Yeah. That was your company, wasn't it? WCW, you liked them?
Yeah.
Remember when we went to the final pay-per-views? Was it Greed?
No, we went to Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Yes, we went to Mayhem.
And I think if you look, what was the attendance figure for that? 823?
No. The building.
I'm sorry, it was 1823.
The building only holds. The building only holds
13,000 plus for wrestling. Check King of the Ring 1996. Check Over the Edge 1998,
holds
and you will find out how many that holds.
13,000 for wrestling.
Ish.
Okay. WCW has a lot of camera people. So the offside, not the hard camera side, but the offside was the little tarped off. I just find it funny though.
Have you been in my library reading up on?
I just found it kind of funny that we got our tickets 15 minutes before showtime and we were on the ramp, the ringside. They were just sitting there.
Hollywood Hogan has stated publicly that he regrets doing his reality show. Hogan Knows Best, and we see, as I said, Kurt Angle has done a pilot for a reality show. The Hart family will be doing a reality show.
Ooh, which one?
It has begun taping. Well, here's where it's interesting, Meathead.
Okay.
It is Julie Hart, Bret Hart's ex-wife.
Yeah.
And Bret Hart's children.
Ooh, how's Bret feeling?
Who cares?
How's Bret feeling? Well, it's airing in Canada. It's airing in Canada.
You can get more information on that television program at Heart
Obviously,
Nation,
we still like you Canadians as well.
HeartNationTV.com. That's HeartNation.
You're going to have to send a little email or check the forum at www.pwrshow.com and tell us what it's about, eh?
They still got TSN up there, I think.
Yeah, tell us what it's about, eh? Eh?
Let's go to the 3 count.
People. Wait, did you steal that from somewhere? Or did somebody steal that from us?
You know, it's believed that we started using it after WWE used it once or twice. That is what it's believed. There was one intern who did lose their position, granted, non-paid position, as a result of that.
That one's position is still fine with me.
Let's go to the 3 count. Each week we pick the 3 top names in each organization, WWE and TNA, and we go 1, 2, 3, being the best, because it's 3. And Frank is here this week, so if we want to make any changes to our permanent top 5s, we may do so.
My permanent top 5 is fine right now.
Great. I said if, then.
Frank
can.
I don't need to change mine either.
Do you host this segment, or do I?
Frank does.
Let's go to the 3 count. Let's start with the man on my obnoxious side. The man they call me then.
Number 1 of my 3 count.
Thank you, Frank.
Do you like the way I did that?
We used to do that. Brother Love.
Yeah. Yes. Number 1 of my 3 count for WWE. Number 1 of my 3 count for WWE. goes out to Santino and Carlito, my new favorite tag
Taking up
team.
your tag team spot.
Santino and Carlito. I offered it to you, and you didn't do anything. Santino and Carlito. This is comedy gold right here, folks. And
Yes.
Carlito is playing the role perfectly.
Why do you to swap spit with other men?
Number 1 on my 3 count is going to be Santino and Carlito. Number 2 on the 3 count goes out to Mickie James, looking delicious as well in her little Santa's helper outfit. By the way, Lillian, you need to pay attention who's coming down to the ring and not say Kelly twice. Yeah, that was Melina you missed. And number 3 in the 3 count, Chris Jericho.
Which also shows you the professionalism of WWE because nobody mentioned it. You just sort of, in TV, when you really make a mistake, unless you're us, you just let it happen.
Oh, no. If you're us, you point it out and make sure everyone else saw it, too. Speaking of our mistake, Damien, throw it to Frank.
My 3 count, Jeff Hardy, number 3.
Yeah!
No, it starts at 1, Frank. 1. See how I just did that?
I do not sound like that. Don't you dare. So,
Well, okay.
is Jeff Hardy your number 1?
He's my
Because it's
number
1, 2, 3.
Number 1.
Count. If it takes this much to explain it, we got to rename the segment.
No.
Frank can't
Number
get it
one.
right. Well, we don't have to worry about
My
it once
fault.
a month.
Number 1.
Number 1,
Jeff Hardy.
Number 2, Santino.
He doesn't
and
need your
Carlito.
help.
Yes, he does.
And number 3 will go to Randy Orton.
Okay.
Ooh.
And see what I do when I go 3, I go 3.
That's just so you can keep up.
Damian Nelson.
And ladies and gentlemen, the definitive 3 count for WWE, the one all of you clamored to your screens to see this week. We'll start out with number 1, HBK, Shawn Michaels, a man who, again, carried Kennedy. Not that Kennedy needs carrying, but delivered a great match at Armageddon that we didn't talk about, HBK winning. And if you haven't had an opportunity to check out the HBK DVD that was recently released by WWE, it tells an interesting story, and I don't think... Have you seen it?
Don't have
Then
any
shut
interest.
up.
Don't have any interest.
You should. You're a professional wrestling broadcast journalist.
Go.
You want your Bobby Heenan School of Journalism?
You know what I want to watch is
for hope?
WrestleMania 22 and 23.
Well, why don't
but
you go
somebody's-
buy it?
Yeah, somebody said they'd bring it.
Amazon.com.
Number 1 was Shawn Michaels.
And number 2 is somebody who has just gotten funnier and funnier, and I have not yet downloaded the album from iTunes yet.
Oh.
Jillian.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I'm not paying for it.
I'm sorry.
I'm not
okay,
paying for
wait,
it.
did you see when she was singing at Armageddon? And Michael Cole was in the show. He literally sat down like this.
Straight face.
And the funny, I think he was laughing. Because, Cole was talking, Styles was talking, Taz was talking, JR and the King were talking. Cole was just, he was losing it over there. It was classic. I mean, that's some funny stuff, folks.
It's funny. And, I do like Jillian, but I'm not paying for the music.
No way.
And number
three.
3, tops in WWE this week is the wrestling god, JBL. If nothing else, I just want to hear his music. He's got one of the best theme songs out there today.
If he's on Raw now, if he's on Raw now, how often is he going to get the limo then?
Oh, they bring it off to the side. They'll figure it out.
Because normally a Raw is a ramp.
Oh, really?
Normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Meathead, we will not start with you because you gave Frank the opportunity to do so last time. Frank, your TNA top three top talents in TNA this week.
Christian Cage, of course.
Is
Last
what
he
number?
is on his own.
Is what number?
1. I don't want to steal your joke.
Woo! We do have the holiday spirit.
Number 2?
Number 2, let's go with, go with Chris Daniels. Why not?
Christopher.
Because
Christopher
he's
Daniels.
fired. So.
He's
Yeah.
fired. Keep him on there. And Kurt Angle stays on the list.
Okay.
Meathead?
Number 1 on 3 count is going to go out to Petey Williams, Maple Leaf Muscle. Okay. Yeah, do it. Yeah, do
Stop
it. Yeah,
offending our Canadians.
do it. Yeah, do it.
Jericho's Canadian.
I know, but he was actually born in this country, so he's actually a natural
I don't
U.S.
think so.
Oh, I think so. And then he grew up in Canada. By the way, do you know how I know? I won't tell you. Number 2 on my TNA 3 count will go to Abyss. I still
With or without a mask?
With a mask. I've seen it without a mask already. And number 3 on the 3 count will go to Christian. Christian
At last, he's on his own!
Christian is what he is. Christian is the man.
And the definitive TNA 3-count, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, Petey Williams, the man who remains there until he gets his spot. Well, Petey's got a shot at the TNA Championship, I believe. Thanks to that, forget the gimmick name of the match, but the match where the briefcase is.
They're fired.
Here's what's funny. I read an article online where someone was talking about that whole, the day after, the week after the pay-per-view, where they came in with their briefcases, and then Cornette was yelling at Matt Morgan for not keeping the briefcases in a secure environment, yet the wrestlers had them the whole night.
You're talking
before.
about TNA and fluidity.
Fluidity. Like Felicity.
Y'all do it, y'all do it.
Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, a three-peat winner this week. His name is Christian Cage, because he is an instant classic, which will mark the first TNA t-shirt I have purchased. Got to do it.
Okay.
Well.
Okay.
And number 3, tops in TNA this week. She scares me, and her name is Awesome Kong.
What scares me is if that costume comes off again.
Who would win, Awesome Kong or Godiva?
Oh, Godiva.
Who would win, Awesome Kong without the horse, Godiva?
Oh, Godiva.
Who would win, Awesome Kong or Big Bad Mama?
Big Bad Mama.
Who would win, Awesome Kong or Mount Fiji and Little Fiji?
Little Fiji.
Who was the guy? The ring
Mr.
announcer
Fiji?
/ host.
I don't know.
Pinette, oh no, that wasn't Pinette.
Is that the guy?
Because he actually owned it too, I think.
Pinette was the
Gorgeous Ladies of
referee.
Wrestling. Not
Possibly.
sure. Okay, where were they? They were from somewhere in Vegas, I believe. Was where the Gorgeous Ladies.
Lady
of Wrestling.
Godiva. And
Without the
Ivory
horse.
back there. Oh, back in the day.
Did Jesse Ventura? Did he? Did.
No.
No, I'm thinking of something else.
No, you're thinking of Ted
Powell?
DiBiase and his...
Because remember Powell came
Yeah.
along?
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase and his Catholic wrestling that was on Sunday nights.
Then, yeah, Pow. That's what.
Because it was Glow than Powell, and Powell was very dark and
Well,
very...
that's what Ventura did.
Could have been. No.
Ventura did.
Heenan did Women of Wrestling, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was wow.
Way, way back.
All right.
No, that's
I
not
mean,
way,
wait,
way back.
no,
We're talking about
Canadians will
5
figure
years.
this out.
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura did
Really?
women's wrestling with one of the
His
referees
wife.
was
And don't tell everybody.
the referee was his last name was Pinette. He's a comedian. What was the name of that organization? Somebody find out. Thank you.
As we said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final PWR of the year. We'll be back in January. The true tragedy is in January we'll have a couple fewer shows than usual. I'll be traveling. I'll be in Orlando during the TNA pay-per-view, but not able to go to the TNA pay-per-view, which sucks, but be that as it may. Check the website, which will be relaunching come the first of the year with a brand new look. Check the website and find out when you can get your PWR. In the meantime, and the in-between time, check out the 2007 Pro Wrestling Report Honors.
Watch the draft episode again.
Check out the 2007 Pro Wrestling Report Honors. Everything okay down there?
I just get tangled up.
And
All right, he's
also
talking,
check
about,
out,
he's talking about the honors.
and also check out the GLCW Blizzard Brawl 3, which is available at pwrshow.com as well. Phenomenal show. Frank on the stick in the back. You and I at ringside. An intolerable 2 hours and 37 minutes of
But
sitting next to you.
also, and this is
It's like 2.5 weeks at once.
this
Who can handle that?
This is news to Frank and Damien, to you watching the show and to you on the forum.
Nothing's news to me.
I have.
I own this here thing.
I have an exclusive 15-minute interview with
Somebody.
somebody.
Somebody call my mama.
That's what we
Ooh,
call
we
it
can
in
do
the
a tease. We can do a tease. A top talent. Let's. Mean Gene come down the ramp. Remember when he's Nitro come down the ramp?
Yes. That was after the first break.
We've got a top name talent right now on the hotline. 1-900-909-9900. Call us now. I can't tell you on TV. Oh, I'd get in trouble if I did. Call us now. Top name superstar. 15-minute shoot interview. 1-900-909-9900.
Yep. And when we say top talent, we mean somebody in
He may have just
the
headlined
big
a
show.
pay-per-view.
He may have.
Anyways, God, I'm going to watch some old Nitro when I get home now.
Bam, 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 bam.
Clearly, we have been stretching. So we are out of time here. From you, us to you, have a happy holiday, whichever one you celebrate, especially Kwanzaa. I'm expected to celebrate that one for some reason. I'm not sure.
Somebody thinks he's black.
And have a safe and festive New Year's.
Happy
I
Festivus.
recommend you go to one place and stay there and don't go to multiple
Happy
parties.
Festivus.
Even though that's probably what I'll end up doing.
That's how he got the thing on the back of his head.
I took a bump. I got a gouge.
I only can talk about yours because mine's gone now.
Thank you for tuning in,
We're
ladies
out
and
of here.
gentlemen, to the
We
Pro
gotta
Wrestling
go.
Report.
We're out of here.